I mean, come on. Sensational. Sensational. That's the only way I can describe what you're able to see when you get SSR's entire catalog condensed into like 5 minutes there. And what's funny too, where I get chills, is seeing RRR on the big screen. Because I'm sure so many people here, my experience watching the film was at home via Netflix. That is how a lot of audiences were introduced to that project. And it was amazing, and it took my breath away. But man, the entire time, I was like, I would kill to be in a theater right now. I would kill to have that surround sound, that big cinematography on a 143 IMAX screen. And I'm so blessed to know that April 7th, 2027 is circled on the calendar, and we will get to experience an SSR film as one entire globe in real time. That's got to feel pretty special.
Yes, and in Spanish.
And like I mentioned at the start before I brought you out here, Kart, I was on set.
Yeah.
We shared the set together. I had the privilege of going to the Varanasi set. And when I say Varanasi set, it's twofold, because the film is called Varanasi, but that's also the titular city that we're working with here. And so you guys were able to completely reconstruct one of the holiest places in the world for, what, a 60-plus day shoot with a mixture of scenes that take place over the course of so many years and everything. And being on that set, feeling the energy that you were trying to create, it was magical. There's no other way to describe it. It was magical. It was also my first set visit. So this was the first time I ever got to peek behind the camera and see how everything was made, and to see the amount of care and precision and attention to detail. Like, I'm walking around this Varanasi set, and there are posters on buildings that I'm like, there's no way the text on that poster is going to be visible in the final cut. But there's that level of attention to detail, because I know it's going to bring out the best in your performers. And that is something I tip my cap to. That's something that Steven Spielberg, James Cameron, the Russo brothers, and many other prolific directors all tip their cap to. The level of attention to detail and just the genuine care for creating a once-in-a-lifetime story.
It was beautiful what you said, but yeah, I mean, the story begins and revolves and ends in Varanasi, the holy city of India. It's also called the spiritual capital of India, and it's one of the oldest cities that was built and is still inhabited, and obviously our director, Mr. S.S. Rajamouli, had a vision of some breathtaking sequences in the ghats of Varanasi, which obviously practically we couldn't have possibly executed there. So I mean, as producers, our responsibility is to make that happen, and we sent out our production design team to Varanasi to get all the possible dies, the measurements, the pictures, references, and all of that. And yes, to get his vision, to get his vision come true, we built the Varanasi ghats brick by brick to ensure his vision comes true.
This crowd's ready for April, I can tell. Next April. We're under 365 days away. I'm realizing right now, it is April. But don't worry, we're getting there, about 11 months away. Again, Mr. Rajamouli, he's still very hard at work on Varanasi. This is a very extensive production. It requires a lot of tender love and care. It is one of the longest filming processes I've ever seen, and for good reason, because what is being assembled here is truly unlike anything anyone will ever see at the theater. That being said, SSR still knows he's got a big fan base here in Latin America. And so, it wouldn't be Rajamouli, sir, without saying a little hello. So, please direct your attention back to the video screen for another surprise.
Hello, Mexico City and CCXP. I wish I could be there with you today, truly. But even from here, I can feel your energy. The Mayan civilization and its architecture always intrigued me. In fact, in my previous film, Bahubali, the city center and the throne were inspired by the famous Chichen Itza pyramid. But I must confess that my knowledge on the Mexican history, heritage, culture is very minimal. But now I hope this would help me learn more about you wonderful people. I have spent around 25 years making films, but nothing quite prepares you for the moment when you realize that your story has crossed oceans, that people thousands of miles away are laughing, crying, and dancing to something that you created. That is what RRR did for me. Not just my country, India, but the whole world showed me that a universal emotion is enough to reach every corner. And when I heard Natu Natu being sung and danced to across the world, I thought, yes, this is the exact reason why I make films. I am a filmmaker who believes that storytelling has no language barrier, only emotion, only the human experience, which is the same whether you are born in India or Japan or Mexico or anywhere else on this earth. And that belief is the foundation of my next film, Varanasi. I dream big, I always have, and Varanasi is my most ambitious yet. And here is a glimpse into that dream. Hope we have impressed you with what you have seen. It is a story rooted deep in India, but made for every person on this earth who has ever believed that one human being can change the course of history. Like you have seen, the story not only travels from India to Antarctica to Africa, but it also travels through time. I cannot wait for you all to experience the story unfold through these breathtaking worlds that we have conceived. The audience in this room today, you are exactly the kind of people I make films for. Passionate and curious. While many of you discovered RRR on screen at home, Varanasi is coming to theaters and IMAX near you, and it is made to be experienced on the biggest screen possible. See you on April 7th, 2027. Namaskaram.
You can literally feel that glimpse, the sound, the visuals, and it's all out of context. And I've watched so many theory videos on YouTube because I'm trying to piece together this puzzle as best as we can. At the very end, it uses the hashtag Globetrotter, where this thing all began at the big title reveal last November in Hyderabad. It was Film City, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the Ramoji Film City in November 16th.
I traveled to India. This is a completely new cinematic culture for me. And as soon as I stepped foot in that outdoor, I can't even call it an arena, because arenas have roofs. This thing was an outdoor stadium with 50,000 people of the most passionate film fans I have ever seen, gathered in the Indian heat, gathered for, it looked like miles down the road, all to get that first look, that first glimpse at Varanasi. They were the most patient crowd. They were the most lively crowd. They introduced me to the magic of the one and only worldwide superstar Mahesh Babu. Again, let's talk about that big title reveal. Way back, you said it was November 16th, 2025. You obviously knew what we were about to see, but did that fan response change your perception of just the reach that this film was going to have?
The fan perception actually, that's something that we expected, to be honest. But on that day, we had a few glitches. I don't know if you remember during the event, but the fans' patience was what really surprised us. And we were so it was so heartwarming to see them so patiently just waiting for us to get those things right, because we were also doing something new. We put up a 100 feet high LED screen. We built it from scratch, and so they were and we couldn't play our asset before on the big screen, because that it was such a big screen, 30-meter high LED screen. It was seen across some kilometers. So, we were worried the video would be leaked before the event, so we couldn't do that. But the fans were so patient during our patient during our those glitches. I mean, that was more surprising to us and very heartwarming, like I said. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up too, because the patience aspect is really what floored me about the entire experience. Leading up to that first footage drop, it was a big old, swell of hype, not unlike we would have at a CCXP or a Comic-Con, where we're talking for a very long time, and at the very end, we reveal the footage. And it went on for about, a couple hours. And when we get to the big moment of revealing the footage, because they built this screen from scratch, a true 1:4:3 screen, because Rajamouli, this is his words, not mine, he calls himself an audacious filmmaker. And he says, he's got an audacious mind. If he wants it shown in 1:4:3 and they don't have a 1:4:3 screen, we will build it. That's what they did. And for that reason, though, it took quite some time to load. And I've been in theaters before where the audio cuts out for 5 seconds and people boo, or they throw popcorn or something like that. And I'm just like, can we just be a little bit more patient? In this instance, the trailer was delayed by about 20-ish minutes, I would say. Not a single comment. Everyone was patient. And then when the trailer finally played, what was the first thing people said? Play it again. Play it again.
Play it again, yeah.
And then also, Babu, Babu, Babu. And it really is, pun intended, just scratching the iceberg. We got a lot more to see when this thing hits theaters on April 7th, 2027.
So yeah, I mean, so we have a small glimpse into what went into the event that you were just talking about. If we can have that for all of them here, please.
Let it bang.
తగలపెట్టేద్దామా?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is SS Rajamouli once again taking Indian cinema to the world and definitely more audacious than ever before.
To make this movie something that you cannot even imagine.
మన ఇండియన్ సినిమాని గ్లోబల్ తీసుకెళ్లడంలో గ్లోబల్ ఆడియన్స్ని తిరిగి మన ఇండియాని చూసేలాగా ప్రయత్నిస్తున్నాము.
ఈ సినిమాకి mere words won't do justice to the scale and scope.
ఇది నా డ్రీమ్ ప్రాజెక్ట్. ఒక రకంగా చెప్పాలంటే వన్స్ ఇన్ అ లైఫ్ టైం ప్రాజెక్ట్. I'll make everyone proud. Most importantly, I'll make my director the most proud.
Did you guys see that sea of people? It's like Coachella, but for Varanasi. Like literally, that's the only other comparison I have. I'd love to educate a little bit more on the cast we have assembled here because
Sure.
Mahesh Babu, for those who don't know, is one of, if not the biggest actor in Telugu cinema, Tollywood specifically. And it's fair to say SS Rajamouli is one of, if not the biggest filmmaker in Indian cinema as a whole. And this is the first time that these two are working together. And when I talked to SSR during our interview, which you can watch now on Screen Rant's YouTube, I asked him how long this had been in the works for. And it had been like a decade. It had been a long time of trying to get schedules to align, trying to figure out the right project for them to collaborate on. The homecoming of one of the biggest movie stars in Indian cinema history, as well as the union of one of the biggest Indian stars, but specifically action. Mahesh Babu has done so much great action films, along with India's biggest revolutionary filmmaker working today. You cannot put enough superlatives on this film. Kart, do you have any more to add?
No, not anymore. I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, this was a dream for both, for all of us to see this come alive. Like you said, I mean, Mr. Mahesh Babu and Mr. SSR, agreed to work on this. But like you said, they were waiting for the right plot line or the log line or the story that really brings them together, and it was Varanasi, and I think we're at the right time, at the right place, making a very deeply rooted Indian film for the world, and I think the right people are involved, and I really hope we make an impact.
And what's very special too, can we make some noise for that, everyone? What's very special too is here, I alluded to this campaign before the title was revealed was just #Globetrotter. We didn't know anything about it. But we did not abandon the mantra of Globetrotter once the title was revealed. SSR has been using Globetrotter to describe this film twofold, because the plot takes us all over the world, but also the meaning behind the camera is we want this to be a global experience, to bring people of all different backgrounds and all different genres that they flock to come to the theater for this project. And what I find really special, Karts, is that the Globetrotter tour, if you will, kind of starts here today, here in Mexico City. This is effectively the first stop, which I assume will be of many.
You can totally say that.
Yeah, and so it's really cool to take that first step here in Mexico City, and the response based on the crowd we have here today, based on the noise you guys are making, and I know the noise people are making on social right now, it sounds like we picked a good spot to start, huh?
Yes, and I'm very, very fortunate to be here, and like you said, this amazing crowd to start from here, and and yes, I think this is just the beginning. A long way to go, a lot of things to do, and a lot of things to show and excite the audience.
We're counting down the days, everyone. April 7th, 2027. I'm going to get it tattooed at this point. I feel like I've said it so many times. But, Kart, again, thank you so much for taking the time to come here to Mexico City. Before we officially wrap, do you have any closing remarks here for the lovely fan base you've built for yourself here in Mexico City?
Yeah, thank you, each one of you who have been enjoying Mr. S.S. Rajamouli's films. And I know all of you are fans of him who are here, and that's why you're here. I hope this panel kind of entertained you, gave you, it was worth your while. And I promise you, Varanasi is going to keep up all the expectations that you have, will excite you, and you will go crazy in theaters April 7, 2027. Thank you all for making time and being here.
Thank you, everyone. Before I forget, we do have a CCXP tradition here on the Thunder stage.
Of course.
We got to sign the logo. So if you'll follow me here. I believe we have a pen here for you right behind. Here you are. And you're joining some prestigious company. I see Christopher Lloyd right there in big letters. There we are. Thank you, CCXP. Make some noise one more time for SS Karthikeya. And I know I'm going to see you all in theaters on April 7th, 2027.